Let's go to the One Nation founder and leader, Pauline Hanson, who joins us from Queensland. Good to talk to you again, Pauline. I've got to get your take on Hamas praising our Prime Minister. What do you make of that?
Well, here's our Prime Minister, Mr 35% that I call him, who's actually been praised by a communist country, China, and also now a terrorist organisation. That tells you a lot about him. He can't even get a phone call with the President of the United States, who's our ally. So, as I said, Chris, he just... he doesn't instill confidence in me. I don't like him as a Prime Minister. I've got no time for the man whatsoever. He's leading this country into dire straits as, you know, our prosperity is going down the gurgle, our moral values, what we stand for, the way the Jewish people have been treated in this country. And I believe that being supported, you know, supporting Hamas and this country, and they're praising him, I believe that we have fundamentalist, terrorist cells in Australia. That is going to give them some confidence in what they stand for, the radicalisation that is happening in this country, and it's a real shame where we're headed. Like I said, moral decay is happening in this country, and I believe it's been led by our Prime Minister, who doesn't have an absolute clue what he's doing and the direction he has this country headed in.
As I pointed out, our current terrorist alert in this country is probable. We do have that threat in our nation as we speak, yet he's taken a decision which clearly rewards and encourages the tactics of terrorism. That is where, on security terms, it is reckless. Yep. And where it becomes morally repugnant to me is that even if he wants to pretend that somehow he can help deliver a two-state solution, which everyone agrees to, but all the realists can see is further off now than it has been for decades. But surely the very first precondition for any action, any movement, let alone delivering the outcome, would be the return of all the hostages.
Correct, Chris. You lay down the ground rules first and say, well, this is what we want. You don't give them what they want and then hope that they're going to get a democratic government. The Hamas will actually give up their weapons. They'll hand over the hostages and, you know, the bodies of the dead that are dying and make an agreement. It doesn't work that way. You have to use your force to say, OK, we're going to set the ground rules. You will obey by the ground rules. But these countries haven't. I think it's 147. Where the hell are these leaders of this world? And where their thinking is. You know, thank goodness that Albanese wasn't around during the Japanese when they were bombing Darwin, because he would have said, look, we'll do nothing and we'll just lay down our arms and they will not invade us. They will not want to take over this country. Yeah. This is how hopeless he is. He's a coward and he's hopeless.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Pauline. It beggars belief what he would do in the Second World War. Call for a ceasefire and feed the Germans, presumably. I mean, it's just astounding. He is actually telling us that Israel should stop fighting Hamas and Hamas will just disarm themselves. I don't know who's going to disarm them. He talks about the Arab League countries. Iran is their main supplier and Iran's got nothing to do with the Arab League.
Correct. Look, I feel for Israel. You know, everyone wants to live in peace. It's all great. Let's give these words. We all want peace. Yes, we do. And we've been fortunate enough I've grown up in a country that's had the peace since the Second World War. And the fact is, just apart from Vietnam and the Korean War and a couple of the others, East Timor, we haven't seen war touch our shores. But all these people, you know, say, oh, we want peace. Well, peace comes with decent decisions by leadership. But the fact is, a lot of these countries, like your dictators that you had, Mussolini and Hitler, and these ones that have wanted to take over and be dictators, you know, unless you stand up to them, you will not have peace.